Morning, everyone. Again, this is a follow-up video to my video yesterday regarding interest rates. I had a lot of comments and feedback and inquiries, so I figured I'd send a new one, specifically about what's going on right now with interest rates. So currently, the fixed are about twice as much as the variable. So let's just call it 5-year fixed, 4%, give or take, 5-year variable, 2% or prime minus 0.7, give or take. So as mentioned in the video yesterday, the first thing to understand is that there's different factors that control fixed versus variable. Okay, variable is primarily controlled by the Bank of Canada and the overnight rate, with their objective of controlling the supply of money and inflation. Okay, so their target is about 2% inflation. So Bank of Canada adjusts their policies to stay within that range. Now the fixed rates are just a different thing altogether. So, and the tricky part about fixed is that you could have an increase or a decrease in rates, and it could be for one or multiple different things. And that's where you have to look at the underlying kind of economic situation to determine what is really causing that increase. So let's talk about the example of when the pandemic started, which was two and a couple years ago, 2 years and a few months. So during that period, we saw fixed go up, but we saw variable stay stagnant and very low. And the reason for that, primarily, is you look at, when I said in my video yesterday, fixed rates, well, banks first of all get their money from investors, from deposit holders, institutional investors, foreign entities, foreign governments. So they invest in banks, and then banks invest in mortgages. So when rates went up this time, it was primarily because the investors were uncertain of what the pandemic would cause in terms of a recession. So the investors were reluctant to invest. They wanted to hold on to their savings because of the uncertainty. Therefore, the banks, in order to entice these investors to invest in the banks, needed to offer a higher return. And a higher return in mortgage rates is passed down to the consumer in higher rates. Now, a high rate in that case can be, there's an anticipation of a recession. But also high rates exist when there's a strong economy, because think about it. When things are going well, everybody's making money, people want to continue to make money. They want to continue to make more money. Therefore, they borrow more money to invest. Consumers borrow more money to consume. And because of supply and demand factors, the more people looking for money without any real increase in supply will cause the prices to go up. There's also a factor of risk profile. I mean, lenders price. Oh, that's nasty out. Lenders price their rates of return relative to risk as well. The higher the risk the risk profile of a particular borrower, the higher the cost of borrowing. They need to offset that increased risk with a higher return. So sometimes you'll see rates increase because of a large general increase in risk profile from the general population. So when you're looking at what's happening right now, fixed rates are climbing. Fixed rates, okay? That's not really tied to inflation, because again, inflation is controlled by Bank of Canada, which is related to variable rates. Right now, you're probably seeing fixed rates rise because investors are probably reluctant to invest. They want to hold on to their cash, and in anticipation there might be a slow recession, which, in my opinion, is likely the case. But you got to look at inflation. People always talk about, rates are going to go up. Inflation, the world's over. That's what everybody says. Inflation is not necessarily a bad thing. Holy crap, it's cold. Sunday morning here. inflation is not that bad to an extent, right? You look at normal inflation, keeps the economy going, keeps things going ahead. Now, too much inflation obviously is a problem. Your savings get wiped out. It causes a lot of instability, a lot of uncertainty. The worst thing, though, would be deflation. The downward spiral of prices, because that causes everybody to just stop in their tracks. Like imagine, here's an example. Imagine prices were going down and down. You're going to stop spending because you think tomorrow it's going to be cheaper. So everybody just halts and the economy stops. Not to mention the overall value of your debt, and Canadians are loaded with debt. In a deflationary market, your debt is going to hit you even harder. So the overall point is three things. Variable and fixed are different. Okay, and they don't have to increase or decrease at the same time. And we saw that during the pandemic. Fixed went up, variable went down or stagnant. Fixed can go up and down for a variety of different factors. Some are good, some are bad, but it's important to look at what is the underlying reason for that. And then third, inflation, guys, everybody's talking about it because it's just the cool thing to talk about. It's not all that bad to an extent. All right, guys, take care.